for those of us in marketing, it really is a wake-up call. So my question is, what happens to all of us?
Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. This is VA Central's podcast, and my name is Nikki Strachen. Joining me is Jock Grelen.
Hey guys.
Today, the hot topic of the day is marketing with AI and exactly how is that shaping our industry. I'm not too great with AI. I mean, I've got some experience with it. I kind of call ChatGPT my second brain sometimes. But that's about it. Whereas Jock actually has he just finished his Bachelor of Science in AI. So congrats with that, Jock.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm very excited to hear all your thoughts that you do have on AI.
Yeah, Nikki, it's actually difficult to overstate just how monumental its impact is going to be on, well, everything we do in marketing. Imagine this, everything we rely on now, Google, paid ads, SEO, meta ads, those pillars that have underpinned digital marketing for years, the very structures that our businesses are built upon, the marketing of our businesses are built upon, they might all soon look archaic, like obsolete even. And here's the thing, I'd estimate that in two, maybe three, 4 years at the most, Google's dominance, this omnipresent force in advertising and in search optimization and all of these things, it will start to diminish because AI-driven search engines, they're not just a novelty now, they are the harbingers of fundamental shift. People won't be typing keywords into Google as much. Instead they'll be asking AI platforms directly. AI platforms,
Jock,
yeah,
sorry to interrupt you, but I've started doing that, because I know if I'm gonna go to Google, I'm gonna get a few like different site options to click on to open up.
exactly, yeah, yeah.
And now I have to go and it's effort. It's
But at the same
effort.
time, and the thing is, a lot of people enjoy being able to have all of these different links that they can click on. Whereas with AI, what used to be the case is it just gives you one answer. But now, I don't
Yes.
know if you saw, but even like OpenAI, ChatGPT, they brought out a browse feature. So you can just click on the button and it will also give you the links, but it will also give you the one answer. And you can ask it to expand or
That's
summarize it.
nice.
It's everything
Yeah.
in one. So that's
Yeah.
why it's really going to it's going to bring a fundamental shift to the way that we search for things online. And I don't know, I saw this one article, this one video actually on LinkedIn where it showed how much time people are spending, where are they spending most of their time? And it was like over the last 40 years. And online was obviously at 40 years ago was at 0%. And things like work was maybe 30%, family was maybe 20%, then there were friends, maybe 10%. And it showed this time lapse of how it's changed over the last 40 years. And it ended on people are spending 85% of all their time, of the waking time on online. They're only spending, I think it was something crazy like 3% with family, 2% with friends. It was like 0.3% going to church. Like online is dominating. That's what people are doing. That's where they are finding everything. And it's just going to get worse. At a point, people are going to be spending 95% of their time online. And they're going to ask these AI platforms, they're not going to be asking Google anymore. They're going to be asking things like Siri, Alexa, June, all of these things. They're going to swap into an AI platform. It's not going to be just the standard thing anymore. It's whatever device they're using. Instead of generating that list of search results that you just mentioned, these AI systems will provide a tailored, an immediate, and a personalized response. Something that, and
Yeah.
even the tone, it's not just going to be personalized to your taste, but it's going to be in the tone that it provides you the answer with that's going to be personalized to you. And answers without the noise, without the excess, it's going to be a streamlined world. But for those of us in marketing, it really is a wake-up call. So my question is, what happens to all of us? You know, what happens to the ones who have built their strategies around these keywords and around these clicks and these impressions and all of these other metrics that we're using? If we're not proactive, if we're not staying in stride with the shift, we risk slipping into irrelevance. Um, you know, AI is on the rise and it's not just another tool. And that's what a lot of people see it as. They see it as just a tool. It's not. It's going to become the gatekeeper of visibility. It's going to be the thing that people go through, and there's not going to be anything else that they use. So every single traditional tactic we've depended on, it's going to have to be a reimagined to keep pace with these changes.
Yeah, and I'm also just thinking about how many marketing agencies are going to be replaced by AI. You know, I'm sure for those who are embracing AI and who will start using AI to run their marketing for their clients, um, they'll be able to do so many more clients. Don't you think they'll be able to take on much more clients than they traditionally would have been able to?
Absolutely. And the thing is, and here's the thing, AI, what makes it different is that it can track everything, everyone, all of the traits that they have, the demographics, the clicks, the hovering, all of it, it tracks everything all the time without, it doesn't blink, and it knows everything it's got all of that information at the tip of its fingers, right? Whereas we generally, when we go through analytics and stuff like that, it takes us 10 minutes to pull this report and 10 minutes to pull that report. And eventually it takes us 2 hours to put together that report and then try and figure out from there what is going on. Whereas with AI, it does all of that in the blink of an eye. So a lot of jobs, I am worried to say, but a lot of jobs are going to become obsolete. And the only people who will still have a job in 4, 5, 6 years' time are the people who grows with AI. And, you know, if you as a business, if your business, if you are not staying in front of this curve, you know, you're going to get left behind, because what's eventually going to happen is
True.
AI, you know, AI is going to, or the big brands behind the AI, you know, OpenAI, you know, Claude, even Google, they're busy developing their own AI. All of these different AI platforms, they're going to start recommending their own affiliates. They're going to prioritize their own ecosystems. So think about it like this. If you go to your favorite coffee shop and instead of offering the full menu to you, they only serve to you what their suppliers want you to have, right?
It's like, Jock, if you think of all these streaming platforms, I think it's a very good comparison, like Netflix, or you get Showmax, or you get Disney, or you can get DSTV, all these different streaming platforms. They will market the shows and the movies that are on the platform. They're
Exactly.
going to push those movies and those series, they're not going to
And not just that,
favor
if
anyone else.
it goes even more granular than that, they're going to show you the movies that they want you to watch. They're not even going to show you all the movies. Like if you want to watch a movie, let's say the new Lion King that came out, you're going to have to actually type in the name of your movie. You can't just find it. They're going to push all of these other movies that they want you to be watching. That's what they're going to be pushing, or the
Yeah.
people that is paying them, or that's part of their ecosystem. That's what's going to be in front of you.
Yeah.
And so, if I were to refer back to my coffee shop analogy, it's let's say you walk into this coffee shop and you're craving a classic cappuccino, but somehow all around you they have this new turmeric spiced latte that they want you to try. And the reason why they want that is because they have a deal with the turmeric farm. So this coffee shop is only pushing this drink, and AI platforms are going to do the same thing. So instead of fair selection, instead of having SEO and organic search reach and all of these things, they're guiding you to their pre-chosen options. And that's where branding becomes important in your business. So a lot of questions I receive is things like, how can we stay ahead of the curve? How can we make sure that we don't get left behind? How can we make sure that we are in front of eyeballs? And branding is the answer. If you want people to ask for the cappuccino, the brand that people ask for by name or the drink that people ask for by name, we need to pivot our focus on this brand building so that you stay in front of eyes between now and when AI inevitably takes over. And when someone says, I want a plumber, Alexa, I need to replace the aircon. Instead of, a list of aircon fixes to come up, it's gonna come up, they're gonna give you the one that they want you to work with, the one that has a deal with them. But if you say, Alexa, I want Kevin the plumber to come through, that's what AI will pull up for you. So you have to have your brand out there. It's not just about the plumber, it's about the Kevin, the plumber that they know. It's not just a random plumber, it's going to be the one that you want to work with. And that's going to be the difference between thriving and merely kind of existing in the shadows.
No, and Jock, on top of that, I think that's such a good point to make, that brands are going to be so important, and I think also the quality of the brand is going to be crucial, because there's all these platforms where you can go and you can just go create a logo, and you can just you can even generate business names on ChatGPT, or everything can be generated, but I found that it just doesn't measure up to the artistic quality of a graphic designer. So you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm yet to find a site that can deliver a brand on the level of a graphic designer, an experienced graphic
Totally
designer.
true. But here's the thing, right? AI has been around for, I would say, it's going on 4 years now. And if you think about how AI was 4 years ago, you couldn't do any images. You couldn't ask it. You couldn't give it an image and say create something different. You couldn't do any of those things. Whereas now, you can generate images, really good images that looks photorealistic. You can get designs. They're not as good yet. You can generate videos. You can generate music. And it's good. It's better than what the average Joe out there will be able to do. And so what's happened is AI has kind of forced us to, so 4 years ago, the bar was over here, right? Of what is acceptable, what is good enough. But now, because of AI, good enough is not good enough anymore. Good enough is now up here. If you're not an excellent designer, you're not going to stand out, because everyone is posting good enough now. Because anyone, graphic designer, video editor, photographer, doesn't matter what you do. You can be an accountant and you have zero.
Graphic design is really for artists now.
Exactly. You have to be,
Yeah.
needs to be kind of a boutique. And this is the reality. AI is advancing every single day. And if we don't evolve with it, if we don't actively fortify our brands and our skills and everything that we do, we risk fading into obscurity. Because, like I said, it's growing exponentially. It's not there yet. I mean, the graphic design is not good enough right now to post out onto the platforms, but it gives you a great starting point right now, right? But more than that, I give it 2 or 3 years and it's going to be good enough. It's going to get to a point where we
True. I
don't,
mean, if we keep going in this direction, we
if
can
it's
only get
inevitable.
there.
It is inevitable. And what's crazy is it's not just even going to be a thing of you have to go ask it. I read this meme once about graphic designers. It's not going to be about how good you are at designing anymore. What's going to determine your success is how good you are at prompting. How good are you at asking ChatGPT to generate something for you? That's
Scary to think.
that's what's gonna make you a good graphic designer. But it's more than that, because and this is something that's being planned for next year, is they want AI to stop being something that you have to prompt the whole time. So they're calling it AI agents. And what that means is AI, you're not going to have to prompt AI anymore. AI is going to be able to send you a message without any prompting. So here's an example. You receive a phone call. Your AI can answer it on your behalf, then take the call, chat with the person, and then give you a summary of the call and tell you this is what they wanted. How do you want me to respond? Or do you want it to send an email or anything like that? So AI is going to be able to take actions without your supervision. It's called unsupervised AI, right? And so you don't have to supervise it anymore. It's just going to be able to do the things without you. And can you imagine the fallout from that? How many people are not going to be able to do their job or not going to have a job anymore? And the only way that they can keep their job is if they evolve with it. And so to bring it back to marketing, we went on this weave now, but to bring it back to marketing, the point is one of the things that you can do right now is to fortify your brand. Content creation, SEO, even some forms of advertising, they're not going to look the same as they do today. So it's up to us to ensure, that we are adaptable, or that we're not just adaptable, but visible and resilient as everything around us changes.
True. And I mean, how would you say can we even start to create a brand that would actually stand the test of time in this AI revolution?
Yeah, Nikki, that's a great question. And really, it's kind of fascinating, isn't it? It's AI isn't just this, seismic shift that's threatening to change everything. I think how a lot of people should view it is also as this powerful ally that we can harness to make our brands unforgettable. AI might be pushing us, challenging us to adapt, but it's also opening up these incredible opportunities to build a brand that is resilient, that is personal, and that's unmistakable. Yes, here's a story that I think you would appreciate, Nikki. I was walking down the street a few days ago when this little girl started handing out these hand-drawn, crayon-colored tickets for an imaginary concert. She wasn't selling anything. She just wanted people to come to her imaginary concert, right? And the people were smiling, they were talking to her, and they were actually keeping these little tickets and they were putting it in their wallets or their pockets. Why? Well, obviously because it's the cutest thing anyone saw, but it's also because it was personal. It was memorable because it became a story that they could share with their family, that they could share with their friends, like I'm sharing with you now, without an agenda. So there's nothing attached to it, right? And she connected with them in such a simple and a genuine way. And for those of us that are clever enough, that is exactly what AI will allow us to do on a massive scale. So we're no longer just, speaking to our audience, we're connecting with them on a more personal level that sticks and that resonates. And it all comes down to, I would say, building relationships with our audiences. So here's a question for you, Nikki. What do you think is the one thing that we as humans will always have that AI will not be able to replicate?
A soul.
That's a great answer and a valid point. And it does tie into what I want to say. A lot of people would say, oh, it's creativity, oh, it's this, that, and that's not true. AI can replicate all of that. But the biggest advantage that we have over AI is the fact that we can have relationships and AI cannot. They,
Yeah.
they, they can help us to build relationships, but they can't have the relationships of their own. They can't have the relationship for us. No one wants a relationship with a machine.
The scary thing is, Jock, with all these movies out there, you start to wonder if maybe one day AI is going to be convinced that they do feel emotion and that they can build a relationship. They're going to be so advanced that they're going to
That's
think
so
that they
true.
do have a soul and they're going to
And
literally communicate like a normal human would. But I don't know, would they have such an amount of emotion that they'd lose logic? Because I think that's what makes us human as well.
I think no, but the thing is, I think there will always be someone like, for example, there are the machines or the AI platforms out there that's allowing you to go buy or subscribe and get a girlfriend, an AI girlfriend. And a lot of men are doing that. It's unfortunately one of those things. But the point is, they know it's not a person. Like even if they like having someone to talk to, they know it's not a real person, right? And I think deep down, all of us know that it's not a real relationship. It's a fabricated or it's a replication of a relationship. Because that is what AI is. It's a replication of what we're doing. AI is built in our in I'm gonna say in our image, which it is, right? And I think the vast majority of people, they won't want a relationship with the machine. They want real human interaction because we're all lonely. We're all spending all of this time online. You know, relationships is something that's somehow taken a back seat and people are craving it. And so that's why great brands are built on relationships. It's not just visibility, but it's a genuine
True.
connection.
Yeah, Jock, that's actually something that I've been so aware of lately is that, and I actually say this to clients on a regular basis, that people don't really care about the the colors of your brand, the name of your brand, like, they don't care about where you're based, or they just want to know who's behind the brand. They want to see who's the owner. What does he do on a daily basis? What's he like? Does he have a family, or she? What does she like doing over the weekends? Or what does she find funny? People find so much value in that, because I feel like we're in a world that's like there's so much branding in your face as well.
So much noise.
There's so much noise, and just from my personal experience, when I post, for example, on my LinkedIn, and I'm posting something that's beautifully designed, it's got this nice all brand colors, it doesn't get the same results as if I'm just pointing a camera at myself and talking, because
Yes.
people want to connect with who's saying this right now, who's what are your thoughts, and I think that's also going to be a very big tactic in standing out, is to be
Absolutely.
this just your authentic self and show that authentic self.
Yes, absolutely. And
Yeah.
here's the thing. This is and this is where I think people need to keep in, because there's a lot of fear, mongering on AI, and we're all going to lose our jobs and this is going to happen. But here's where it gets really interesting. AI can help us create personalized content at a scale that we couldn't touch before. It's still going to need our, you know, intervention and kind of our, influence over it to tweak it and to make it more personal. But the back end, the analytics, all of these extra things, that is the slog that you have to get through, all of those things can be automated so that we can focus on being personal. We can focus on being authentic. We can focus on showing who we really are and building these relationships. That is what's going to have us, that is what's going to stand the test of time, is if you can build a brand that resonates and that feels like it belongs to your audience. They feel like you belong with them. We're not just familiar, we're not just in front of their eyes, but we're trusted. Those are the brands that's going to stand the test of time. Those are the brands that's going to last in the next couple of years, with AI growing at an exponential pace.
It does keep growing on a daily basis, and the more we use it, the more it learns. So I guess, Jock, another question I'd love to ask you is, I actually first like to touch on a statistic here. So Forbes found that companies adopting AI see a 25% increase in marketing ROI within the first year. And that's just fantastic.
That's crazy.
So, Jock, once we do start seeing those initial results, what's next? So how can businesses scale their AI as they grow more comfortable with it?
That's a great question. So, we've touched kind of on the potential of AI to build something remarkable, right? To help you build your brand. Just taking it back half a step, because I really want to answer your question, but if I can just go on a little weave here. I get so many questions from people who's like, well, what can we do specifically? How can I use AI right now? I've never used AI. I don't know what ChatGPT is. I don't know what any of these platforms are. How can I use it to improve my business, right? And the
Yeah.
answer is simple. And Nikki, I know you said in the beginning that you use it. It's your second brain, but you can use it to help you answer an email, right? So you don't have to spend half an hour typing out an email. You can just give it to ChatGPT, say, this is what I want to say, make it professional, make it conversational, make it however you want to make it, whatever tone you want. You can just ask it, put it in there, and you're ready to go. All right. So you can do little things like that. You can use ChatGPT to help you create a tone that fits with your brand, so that you can focus on your relationship building. And then once you start doing those things, once you're starting to use AI to build out your brand, a brand that is alive and that is responsive and that's resilient and that's going to stand the test of time, once you get that, it's I get it. It's kind of jumping headfirst, right? And it feels a bit daunting.
It's definitely daunting, Jock, but I think, it's daunting. Learning anything new is daunting. And I think a lot of people use that as an excuse to not try it at all. And then they just get stuck so in their ways. But I mean, when it comes to my experience with ChatGPT, I mean, just the more I use it, the better I become. I mean, the prompts I was using to start off with was just terrible, you know.
Absolutely.
And
I know what you
and
mean.
and now, I mean, you must see the prompts I'm giving AI now, just because you learn that there are no boundaries. I think, when you start using AI, you're used to boundaries, but you set the boundaries for the AI, and I think that's what I've enjoyed most. But there's certainly so much that you can introduce to your business
Absolutely.
just
And I
regarding
think,
AI.
it's going to become easier as well. So, we're mentioning start small. We're mentioning that it doesn't have to be intimidating or all-encompassing from day one. Um, our founder Sanjay, he always says, if you can improve, what is it, Nick? If you can improve by
1% a week.
1% a week, imagine where you're going to be in a year, right? And if you can implement one thing in your business right now, let's say, for example, the helping you answer your emails. The next thing you can do is for example, maybe automating some of your email marketing, or having a chatbot on your website that's AI powered, or using AI to customize or to personalize outreach on your LinkedIn. Or maybe you start using AI, maybe you get a little bit more technical in it and you start using it for your data analytics. Traditionally shifting through data can be exhausting, right? It's so
Very
time,
true.
it's tedious. And if we're honest, we as humans, we miss patterns or trends. But with AI, it's like having the second set of eyes that never blinks. AI can pull insights from data faster than any human ever could, and it doesn't get tired, it doesn't sleep, it doesn't lose focus. So starting with these kinds of tasks, these automated emails, the data analysis, these are the ways to let AI take some of the weight off without overwhelming your business. And yes, I read this somewhere. It was, and Nikki, I think you have the stat with you, but it said something like the global market revenue for AI in marketing was projected to increase by something like $80 billion. Or I don't know, that would be roughly what, 65 billion pounds. And that is just between now, I think it was in the next 6 years or 5 years, Nikki. Do you have the stat there with you?
I don't, Jock.
Let me
I'm
see if
having a look, but I can't see it.
statistic. AI and marketing revenue growth. The global market revenue for AI in marketing is projected to reach $107 billion by 2028, up from approximately $16 billion in
I think
2021.
that's so much. You can't even imagine. You can't even
It's
like start to
it's
imagine.
mind-blowing. Yeah, you can't wrap your mind around it. So that should tell you it's not just a good investment for the average Joe, it's a transformative one. It's going to make your business so that you can service, instead of servicing 5 clients or 10 clients, or let's take estate agency, for example, where instead of managing 100 properties, now all of a sudden you can manage 1,000 properties, right? So that's the difference it's going to make. And here's where it gets really exciting. Once you start, once you see those initial results, you'll naturally find opportunities to go deeper. You'll be able to ask ChatGPT. Once you learn how to use ChatGPT, you'll be able to ask ChatGPT, how can I use ChatGPT to further enhance or further streamline my operations? And maybe it's moving beyond email to full-scale customer segmentation, where AI is helping you understand the subtleties of each audience and it's tailoring your messages to those nuances. Or maybe you're predicting and you're going into predictive analytics, where AI doesn't just tell you what your customers did on your website, but what they're likely to do next. And that's where we're going. It's going to be able to not 100% foolproof predict the future, but it's going to be able to predict what they are likely to do. You know, so it can go from supporting the basics to fundamentally shaping your entire marketing strategy. So if you want to scale, you know, what it comes down to, it's not about taking one massive leap forward. It's about taking those small initial and those manageable steps. It's about those 1% incremental improvements in your business where you
Baby
streamline
steps.
one thing. Exactly. Streamline one little thing. One thing that's taking 10 minutes from your time every day. Streamline it so that it takes you 10 seconds every day instead of 10 minutes. And then tackle the next thing and the next thing and the next thing.
That's so
So
true, Jock.
that's how I would go about scaling AI within your business.
So there is one scary thing I'd like to mention to you. I was having a conversation with a friend based in the UK just last week, and he's got a brand new state-of-the-art AI technology that is your marketing virtual assistant. And it can create posts for you. It can create a schedule. It can upload it for you.
It's crazy.
But
And
we don't know yet how do those posts look? What's the quality going to be?
you see,
But it's a scary thought.
it's an insane thought. It's not just a scary thought, it's insanity. But here's the thing, you know, and this is what's going to happen is one person's going to start using it, then 100 people are going to start using it, then 1,000 people, and then 1,000,000 people are going to start using it, and then everyone's going to be using it, right? And you're just going to see a bunch of posts. It's going to be posting 3 times a day. People are going to go overboard. It's just going to get 3 posts a day from every single person that you have, every business, everything that you see online. It's just going to be so much content because it's all automated and you can do it in the blink of an eye. And it's all going to have roughly the same, um, you know, the same quality. And the only way that you are going to stand out, you know, if we take a full, you know, 180 back to where we were, is
Yeah,
if the brand stands out. That's the only way you're going to be
that's
visible.
so true. It really is the only way.
You know, and you know that's the thing. You know, we've gone from in 2021, we've gone from talking about AI as this abstract, almost, you know, intimidating force to now seeing it as a partner and a tool that can help us build our brand, you know, that a brand that's not just visible but connected. And I think the real takeaway here is AI, and this is a question I was struggling with as I was wrapping up my studies, is AI going to replace us? Like I got scared for the first time earlier this year. I was really like, I was busy drawing a picture and it's so easy. Like I can literally go onto DALL-E or, you know, Grok or any one of those other AIs and I can ask it generate a sketch for me of this person or of that thing of whatever. And it generates it in less than a second. And here I am busy drawing a picture and it's taking me 15 hours to draw the exact same picture. That scares me. That scares, and if it doesn't scare you, you wouldn't be human, you know, and it's I've now come to realize as I wrap my studies up that it's all about relationships. AI isn't here to replace us. It's here to enhance what we're already doing. It's here to take it further than we ever thought possible. It's here to raise the bar, you know, to something that's unimaginable, right? I watched a documentary on Google, Nikki, and they said that they are using AI to program or to write 25% of all their programming is AI generated. So they're not even building their own platform anymore. And they're generating with AI. And the only thing that they're doing is they just have engineers looking over the code, scanning through the code to see if it's all in order, and then they submit it.
Proofreading.
And that's just growing. That's up. I think in 2022 it was something like 5% of their code was AI generated. Now it's up to 25% in 2 years, right? And it's just getting more. Eventually, we're just going to oversee AI. We're just going to look at AI and it's going to do most of our work for us. But what's going to make us stand apart is our ability to actually talk to people. And if there's one skill that I can recommend someone to learn, it's how to sell. Because regardless of what AI takes over, if you have the ability to sell and what is selling, being able to build a relationship and convincing people to do something, right? And or to purchase your product or to purchase your service. And that one-on-one experience, that relationship that you build, that is the thing that's going to outlast anything that AI will be able to do.
Yeah, you know what the ironic thing is, Jock? I just got a notification of an email that came through of someone inviting me to a webinar on Search GPT, the future of property search.
Yes, absolutely. And Search GPT is a new feature that's out now. And I can imagine how they can incorporate that into
It's
pro.
here.
It's here and it's here to stay.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing is the journey doesn't end here. You know, just as you know, closing, the journey doesn't end here. It's really just the beginning. It's not AI is not gonna, you know, collapse everything. It's going to change everything. And
It
AI
is.
is here to stay. You know, there's no way around it. It's gonna stay, and the way that we use it will shape not only our brands, but also the way that people experience us. So the trap that I would say you should avoid is getting into that trap where you get a AI marketing full automation assistant. You know, that's something that's just going to pump out content regardless of what your audience wants, because people, you're just going to lose your audience. I would say it's so important to have someone on the ground, boots on the ground, whether it's an in-house person or a virtual assistant or a freelancer, or even if it's yourself, to make that memorable, to make it personal, to make it authentic so that it builds a brand and it builds a relationship with your audience. You know, so let's not just stay in the game. It's important that we lead it. You know, it's important that we build brands that don't just pass through someone's feed, but a brand that leaves a mark, you know, a brand that leaves a memory, and again, something that feels personal and human and just unmistakably us, because that is what makes us human. It's our humanity, you know, it's our relationships. I think that's what it comes down to, Nikki.
Yeah. No, that's so true, Jock. And I mean, on that note, I think we've gone through everything AI marketing wise. I mean, I think we can probably still speak for another hour, to be honest. Um, but Jock, any closing thoughts?
I would say there's one thing that I would recommend everyone who's worried about AI taking over their brand or taking over their jobs or anything like that. There's one book that I recommend everyone go and read, and it is a book by Gary Vee, and it's called Jab, 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 Right Hook, right? And it is a
Okay.
fantastic, and that this book was written before AI was around, and even in that book, it talks about what is coming and the amount of noise that is out there in the world already, even before AI, and how you can just punch through the noise. And those things in that book, the strategies and the tactics that he's using in his book, I recommend everyone to go and read that book. It is such a good book, and it'll help you to focus your what's the right word, Nikki? To focus your attention and your what you are doing to build your brand and to survive this AI takeover, so that you get out on the other side and you get out on top.
Yeah. Build your marketing strategy around AI, because
Absolutely.
that is the future.
Absolutely.
Well, it's actually not just the future, it's now, people.
It's
So
for
better
now.
hop on the horse, or you're gonna miss the ride. But anyway, so thank you so much for joining us on this awesome talk, Jock. You did absolutely great. And we're gonna have more discussions like this on our channel. So make sure that you do subscribe and leave some comments in the section below. Any thoughts you have on AI, what you think about how AI is changing our world, and if you have any suggestions on any other videos that you'd love to watch. We'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.